Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ecommerce Marketing Chats with myself, Charles, and Jimmy. Jimmy, what's been going on, mate?
Just jumped off a plane recently from sunny Gold Coast back to cold, freezing Melbourne. So trying to get myself all G'd up for this
You look
this
wrapped up anyway.
episode. And yeah, I
Yeah,
am. I'm cold, man. It's just but yeah, no, it'd be good to get back into the swing of things and chat all things e-commerce again this week.
nice. Sounds good. Sounds good. So what's been happening in your world?
Well, limited on the client side this week. So I've been managing accounts at a minimum just while I was away this week. So a lot of just, making sure the macro stuff is completed in accounts. But in terms of e-commerce, like always, there's a lot changing, a few things that have popped up into my peripheral this week that I haven't dived into deeply yet. But apparently the Sidekick AI on Shopify is starting to become quite good. I've seen some examples of people using it how they would ChatGPT or any other of these language models and asking it to build kind of content sections on product pages and things like that. And this AI is going straight into the Shopify theme and editing the code for them to build out those things. So yeah, the Sidekick on Shopify is rapidly starting to improve, and I'm seeing more and more people starting to use it. But yeah, that some of the widgets that I've seen people build just off 2 or 3 lines of prompt is quite staggering. So I think it's great for business owners because they're going to be able to implement things that they otherwise would have probably had to pay thousands of dollars for in development. So yeah, it's kind of something interesting that I've seen come through this week. I think you would know all about using AI prompts to build things recently, Charles. I saw the new website's just gone live for
Yeah.
yourself as well, and probably a good thing because I also saw this week that someone completely jacked your old website as well.
Yeah, make it up. Yeah, it's they yeah, so they plagiarized my website, but I only found out about it because I was doing some backlink analysis on my own domain and realized that they were still pointing to my website and social media profiles. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not even that bothered about it, just because it's two variations from back. It's an old site. It's more the fact that they've just completely, it's just the integrity of just ripping off. Yeah, it's literally the same website with his name replaced with on my name replaced with his name, and he's taken all the testimonials and everything. So yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to do a kind of, was it cease and desist letter or email or whatever.
Oh
I'm not
man,
gonna.
honestly, it's probably not even worth your
No,
time.
that's what I mean. It's yeah. It's just yeah. It just shows that yeah. You got to be careful who you're listening to, who you're hiring, and yeah. I've had a few instances recently where you've realised how important integrity is to running a business.
Definitely, and I saw you mention recently about having referred someone to a client that didn't work out because basically the person that was doing the work on them kind of just vanished. But I've always been really hesitant to kind of recommend anyone at all for these exact reasons. It kind of is a reflection on you, the person that
Absolutely.
you refer to do work for a client. So unless I'm 100% confident that that particular person is going to do a good job, I'll I'll usually tell the person asking, I don't have a good recommendation at this time. I do have people that I know that do it, but I haven't worked with them personally. So I can make an intro and you can chat to them about it, but like I couldn't vouch for them because I haven't worked alongside them on in that particular capacity before. So I think I've always got someone I can recommend. It's whether I want to give them an endorsement with that almost.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm certainly a lot, certainly after that recent incident, I'm a lot more cautious moving forward. I mean, I made it clear to the client that I hadn't worked with them before, um, but based on what I was seeing, I thought that they could do the job. That was clearly not the case. But I'm certainly going to be a lot more cautious moving forward. And actually, I've had some recent, situations where, I've referred a web developer that I've worked closely with to a couple of clients, and he's done I've had some really positive feedback from both of those clients.
Yeah,
Um,
same goes. I know I sent you a message the other week, but
yeah,
someone that I recommended Charles have a look at their site. They actually messaged me and said Charles has been fantastic. He's, you know, the integrity's there. He's getting the results that he said he would get. So yeah, I think, and I like honestly, the people that I'm chatting to, I value that feedback from the people that I've actually, hey, recommended this person because it also gives me confidence to go ahead and recommend that person again. Not that I didn't already have confidence in recommending you, Charles, but sometimes I think the caliber of client that you work with, sometimes the people asking for recommendations aren't at that level yet. So, which is something that we've both spoken about recently, either having a different service offering or a lower tier service offering, just so we're not turning away people where we could offer them something. Because I haven't had it bite me in the butt, but I've had a friend come to me that's wanted to work with me, and they just weren't at the place that I would want to work with a business. So I said, "No, no, this isn't a good fit." And then I probably spoke to them about it like 6 months later. I was like, "Oh, what ended up happening?" And they ended up signing up with one of these, do everything marketing agencies. They were locked into a 12-month contract, which was, and it was at a considerable monthly retainer, and they were literally getting no results. So, um, I was just like, oh, like
yeah,
I need, you need, I want to, especially the people that I know that I'm friends with. I don't want to say no to them and then have them just go somewhere else and get royally screwed by agencies that just want to take advantage of people trying to give the e-commerce game a real crack. So yeah, it's kind of you've got to weigh it up a bit. You're like, um, what's my time worth? How much can I put into this? What can I offer that would be really beneficial for both? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things to weigh up there, and I think I am going to have like an introductory offer that I'm going to put out next week, basically to some people that are waiting to get to a point to work with me. I'm going to try to fast track for them and with a particular starter offer that I've just going to put together for some of those as well to try to basically speed up that process of getting them to a place where we could do some like really meaningful work together. So something that I've been thinking about a bit this week. But also, yeah, just the opportunity that's out there at the moment. I'm like watching a lot of podcasts and other content on kind of how and what people are doing in the space currently to basically rank their products in AI search. I think that's the thing that I'm really interested in at the moment. One, because I think it's going to take a considerable share from Google when it happens. Well, it already has happened, but I wouldn't say it's mainstream yet. It's in its infancy, but the clients that I really do want to go and really want to ride this wave, like I want to have some really good, credible knowledge for them through my own experiments, plus what other people are doing and learning from them as well. What I'm finding though is the agencies that have really good people behind this stuff, like they're doing the tests on probably their biggest client, but it's not going to feed down to their juniors probably for months. Like the 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 actual even with good systems and processes, there's a real kind of creative nuance to creating content that actually answers the questions that are coming through. I don't think it's as simple as just coming up with, good keyword research. It's going to be about question intent and coming up with actually high quality answers that are going to be relevant to these kind of AI language models. But yeah, it's definitely the space that I'm really interested in at the moment. Not because it's the new shiny thing, because if you get it right early, it could potentially change some of the lives of my e-commerce clients in terms of how much revenue they could potentially generate from it if they're a fast mover and they do it really well and they get that foothold in that space. So it's not about jumping to the new shiny thing because there's been shiny things everywhere. Even though this is a shiny thing, this is one thing that has the potential to take over. It's not like
I wouldn't even class it as a shiny thing. I think it's just we see where the trend's going, and
mm.
there's moments in time where, like we had with the emergence of the internet, AI is this new evolution of the web.
Basically this is like the bit. This is like we're probably at the $10 mark for Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, it's the equivalent of probably picking up a Bitcoin in 2013 or whatever. Um,
Yeah,
so it's not like, we've had situations in the past where, oh yeah, voice search, is going to replace written, typing, people typing out searches, and that didn't. Yes, that's actually evolved, and I think actually in an AI search world that will actually be, become more popular. But
I
that
think it
never
will
really
too,
took off.
mainly because of the quality of the answers. I think the problem with voice search it was the quality of the answers,
Yeah,
but I think AI will change that, and I think I can even see myself. I mean, I've got one of those like the Google Home pods just behind me. I would use that a lot more if it gave kind of the quality of answers that AI gave. But the answers that it gives, majority of the time, are absolutely rubbish. You use it to find out the weather. That's about it.
yeah. Well, I think with, I've tried out, like, the Chat GPT's AI voice capabilities, and it's like having a conversation with a
Mm.
human. Like, whereas the like you said, the Amazon Alexa, or
Yeah, yeah. The echoes and
it's
the
very robotic. It's very
mm.
just like, and you can't feed it like full sentences or full questions. So yeah, I think, in summary, I think, yeah, the AI search is where it's going, and it's where, even if Google stays the prominent search player, which I don't think it will, or it will certainly, they'll search will be more fragmented. I think, yeah, it's Google is moving in that direction as well. It realizes that if it doesn't, it's in trouble. So, um, interestingly, I did a bit of I used Claude Research. If anyone's ever tried that out, it's amazing. Where it basically, you click the research button and ask it, can you create me a research paper on X, Y, and Z, and it will literally go through the internet and source various citations and provide you with a document. Anyway, I created one for Google AI overviews and the impact that's having on click-through rates. And yeah, certainly interesting. Like, I definitely think, Jimmy, it's a conversation that we need to be having on here. Um, because as much
What
as
some key what were some key what some key takeaways from it that you like found interesting? I'm guessing it's significantly decreasing the click through rate.
yeah, like anywhere from 15 to 70%, which, yeah, and look, this is dependent on industries. I think one of the good thing for e-commerce is actually mentioned that AI overviews have decreased from 29% to 4%. So in a lot of industries, it's gone up significantly, where Google is just showing the AI overview answer and the click-through rate has dropped off. But it seems with e-commerce, it's been reduced because they're focused on making sure that they're still showing commercial intent, links.
Making
They
money.
exactly. So, um, yeah, it was really interesting to read that, but it did get me thinking about, we've had this conversation numerous times here on the e-commerce marketing chats about blog content, and is it still valuable? Um, and I'm constantly, you know, looking at how my clients are performing, but also looking at the data. Um, and I would say moving forward, there should certainly be a stronger emphasis on making sure your product and collection pages are the best optimized pages you can get. Not just from like, on page SEO, but from the way the page is designed, conversion rate optimization. Have you got schema on the page? Have you got reviews? Are you able to potentially build backlinks to some of those pages? Um, the worry is you can spend a lot of time on that top of the funnel content, and Google are just going to show an AI answer. Um,
I think from what I found just in researching over the last 2 weeks, because I've kind of been a bit hot and cold on blogs, and then I'd say definitely over the last 2 months, I'm much more hot on them than I was. When AI was initially introduced, I was pretty cold on them. I was like, oh, these will die off because AI is just producing better content than the majority of the blogs out there. But then what I did notice is we put together a really kind of advertorial type blog post, and it did quite well, and it actually generated sales, and it's one of it for this particular client. It's one of the highest traffic generating pages on the site now. So I've seen real value in actually creating something of value. But what I'm seeing in like the AIs, the ChatGPT and stuff, they're actually referencing blogs a lot, which is why I think, okay, if you can kind of get a real authoritative blog post in there, it might actually be able to increase your AI traffic considerably. But I think from the comments you just made, Charles, I think you're more looking at it from how much traffic you could generate from Google search directly. I think that is going to drop off significantly, but I think some of it, not all of it, but some of it may be able to be recuperated from being sourced in AI answers.
yeah, I think the problem is even if the blog posts are cited, are people actually clicking through? I think there was a stat from the research paper that I did, which said that I think it was around 58% of US searches resulted in no clicks. So they're not clicking on any websites after they get shown that AI overview, which is pretty alarming. Um,
Yeah, for
but like I
Google
said,
especially because they're a cost per click model. So
yeah, um, I think there's value in having it because I think, yeah, like I said, I still think there's value in having blogs because I think it still builds you as an authority. It gives you link building opportunities, which that actually has an impact on, ranking in AI search as well as traditional search. Um, I just probably that shouldn't be the main metric. Like, let's just like if you had a limited time to focus on your SEO, I wouldn't be focusing like the large bulk of my time on building out a strong blog content strategy. I'd be like, okay, what else could we do with our collection and product pages and the homepage to make sure that we have it, as well optimized as possible, and we're hitting all of the signals to show up not only on Google search but AI search platforms like ChatGPT as well.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's certainly interesting, and like I said, it's changing all the time. Like I said, I think the yeah, I think e-commerce is in a nice spot whereby Google are still wanting to show commercial intent pages,
Yeah, well,
Whereas if you,
they want to compete with Amazon, and they're already bringing in their AI shopping functions now to because they realized that ChatGPT and the other platforms are going to be a real threat to their revenue, based on people's research patterns at the moment and being actually recommended products through those AI platforms. Google will take a hit. So, um, whether they actually take a hit revenue wise, it's hard to know with Google because so many, so many businesses are using their Performance Max now, which is like an automated bidding strategies, and you've got to wonder if they're going to be down 10% in revenue, whether they just hike the price of the click across the board by like 10% just to make up for it. So, um, which it's hard to see not happening when so many people just going to automated bidding strategies. It's like, well, okay, like how is this auction actually happening now? Like how how is Google determining if everyone's got automated bidding strategies? How is Google determining what the price of that click is? It's becoming more and more vague. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, Google will stick around if people are getting profitable return from it. I think if it starts to become unprofitable, I think that's when you'll start to see kind of a significant exodus.
yeah, the numbers don't lie, do they? It's if people
It
are spending,
depends what numbers you're looking at.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, no, it's
Actually,
interesting.
that's actually a good point. A client of mine asked me this week about, where do I go for my data of truth? Because we've discussed previously, Facebook or Meta Business Manager will show, significant revenue attributed to the Facebook side of the marketing, and Google will also do the same. So you might have the two platforms, I don't know, say one's reporting 500,000, the other was reporting 500,000, but your overall sales are only 750,000. They're like, what? If I've got 500 here and 500 there, I should have $1 million in sales this month. But what they don't realize is uh, both platforms are claiming different touch points of the buying cycle, and there's actually overlap in those conversions. And then the question is, well, how do I know where I should be putting more marketing dollars? And it's a hard question because of the attribution modeling, and some people are using third-party kind of tracking platforms like Triple Whale and Northbeam and these kind of platforms to try to get an indication of what's happening at a more macro level rather than on a per platform level. But yeah, no, it's an interesting question, and I recommend business owners choosing their. I Google Analytics used to be my go-to recommendation, but with how much data is being lost in there and how the attribution models have changed, even in Google Analytics, it's not, especially on the Facebook side, it hardly attributes Facebook at all. And for it to be of any use for kind of macro, like overviewing your whole business, you need server-side tracking implemented. And I'd say a very small amount of businesses even have that implemented, mainly for the fact that it costs money to set up and it costs money to run monthly. So they're happy to just roll with the data that they have, but it's not giving them a very good oversight of what's actually happening in their business.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's a good point, and it's yeah, like you said, if you look, if, I'm the same. I find Google Analytics like the data is there's a lot missing, and it's not always going to give you an accurate representation of where your traffic is coming from. Um,
I used to use Google Analytics as my kind of go-to reporting over Google Ads reporting, but ever since GA4 came out, I've had to swap back to Google Ads kind of tracking, mainly for the fact that GA4 is just all over the shop. And yes, It's just, I used to, and actually some businesses still do this. So if you are doing this, it's probably worth looking into or probably making at least a change so you can get more relevant data in your Google Ads platform. The kind of old gold standard way to do the tracking in your Google Ads is you create the purchase goal in Google Analytics, Universal Analytics. So this is not GA4. This is before that. So probably 2, 3 years ago. Maybe even more. I lose track of some time sometimes. How long's GA4 been
Yeah,
out?
it's probably been out for longer than we think, isn't it? I
I
would
have
say
a feeling it came out
two,
2022, but
yeah, 2, 3 years is what I'm thinking.
so before that came out using Universal Analytics, you most people would just import the Google Analytics goal into the Google Ads platform, and that's how they track conversions. But even when I'm auditing some accounts now, they're still doing that, which is fine if they're happy with that. But I would say they're probably missing 30 to 40% of like touch point attribution data in the Google Ads platform that they can use to make better decisions on products and ads. And just by setting up the conversions through the Google Ads tag rather than a GA4 input, they'll be they'll have significant more data to make decisions off. And I find that the kind of the automated bidding strategies work a lot better when they've actually got a lot more data flowing through them. So yeah, but then there's a question. I always, if we are swapping a client over, I'm like, look, the stats are gonna look better in the Google Ads platform because there's more data going through there about the actual touch points that Google Ads had involvement with. But it may not necessarily increase your, overall Shopify revenue straight away, even though the results will look like they've been going better inside of Google Ads. So, longer term, I definitely find it's easier to generate better results with the additional data. But I don't want to. I never want a client to think, "Hey, we're changing this because the results in Google Ads look better." I don't care about the results in Google Ads. I just want as much data as I can through that platform to make better decisions.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And what are you using for? You mentioned about server side tracking. What's your kind of go-to platform? I think you may
At the
have
moment,
mentioned it one of
Yeah, at the moment
previously.
I'm using I've been testing a platform called Taggers. And they're great there. Like I had a call with them. They ran me through everything and how it worked. This was months ago, but the team there is fantastic. So if you're looking for a reliable service, taggers.io. It's spelled taggrs.io. And their main competitor, I think, is called Stape.io. So that's another one too. There's a lot of them out there, but through my research, and a lot of other Google Ads kind of people that I follow in the space too were using that as well. So I decided to test out taggers first. So if you are looking for server side tracking, check them out first. I think that would be a good first place to at least investigate to see if it's a good fit for you. And I think if you're like a super small store and you just want to try it, I think there's like they've got a plan that's free for like 10,000 requests a month or something like that. So it may be worth testing out, even on personal personal branding sites or things like that. If you want to get a bit of insight into how the server-side tracking works, you can
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
test it out for free on there. So it might be a good place to start.
yeah. I might do that with my own site. Um, kind of
Yeah,
using that
well,
as a
so do it. I need some more people through my taggers account, so I'll send you like a referral link or something.
yeah, sure, yeah, yeah. No worries. Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's a good opportunity I've got. I think that's the one thing I'm going to be doing with my personal brand site is just testing out new things. It's been interesting running a site purely through an AI platform. Like you
Yeah,
don't have any CMS. You know,
yeah.
there's no back end.
You can implement. This is a thing that I've been looking into it too. So you can implement a uh, like a CMS for the blog post side, which is why I was asking you how you did the blog posts. They're called headless. So basically, you can run the blog through a CMS through your AI
Gotcha.
site too, which gives you that back end if you want it. I think the platform I was looking at was called Sanity.io. I'll have to have a look. I've got my research documents somewhere. There was like three different ones that I was potentially gonna look at. One, I think another one was called like Contentful or something, but they're headless CMS and you can run the blogs through them, and it works straight off your uh kind of a AI generated site. Somewhat like Pally.com, which is a site is Pallyyy. They're actually doing it. They're a case study for, I think it was Sanity.io. So if you go to their site's completely built on React, but their blog is managed through Sanity.io, like a headless platform. But you wouldn't even going on the website, you wouldn't even be able to tell. It just kind of works seamlessly.
Yeah, yeah. It's I've been really impressed with it. It takes a bit getting used to because there's certain things that are different, and you do need to do your checks and make sure, yeah, that you've got the different pieces of code that you want on the site with your analytics. But it's that the probably the hardest thing, and I stumbled across, was actually syncing it all up to my hosting. Yeah, I came across a bit of a stumbling block there, and I just hired someone to help me out. Um, and I probably wouldn't, well, certainly wouldn't suggest it for an e-commerce store. I think Shopify is still by far, I like, there's too many, um, there's just too many variables to
Yeah, and
go wrong.
every app that you want to use integrations, like Shopify is great for integrating some of the best marketing
Yeah,
apps in the game. And Shopify is definitely a first mover in terms of this AI space. Like if you compare Shopify to a platform like Neto or Maropost, whatever they've rebranded as now, it's night and day. Like
yeah.
Maripost slash Nito is not ready for this AI wave. And if you're on one of those platforms and you were thinking, oh, should we swap to Shopify? Like the answer is yes.
Yeah, yeah,
In
yeah, absolutely.
in I have a client on Nito and um yeah, that's, they were telling me about their struggles. The support's horrible. Any updates taking over a month. This is since they've been acquired. It happens all the time. Companies get acquired and the quality of them just tanks. Which is why I was worried about Klaviyo when they got acquired. I was like, okay, maybe I should start testing some other email services because who knows, this could potentially tank in, a year and a half or whatnot. But so far it's been going strong. So Klaviyo is still my email marketing platform of choice. There's probably a few that are definitely narrowing the gap that they did have. But yeah, for now, Klaviyo is definitely the number one runner in terms of e-commerce, email marketing platforms, without a doubt.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Um, yeah, yeah, I think they seem to be the go-to, don't they? But yeah, I think when it comes to e-commerce, the more and more I use Shopify, the more I'm thinking, why would anyone be on any other,
Yeah, no.
be running an
But
e-commerce store on any
it's
other
also
platform?
scary though because they've got such a monopoly. They could just raise their prices. I think I said
It's
this
true.
last week too. They could
Yeah,
raise their prices considerably at any point, and you don't really have a you're not going anywhere else, so they could essentially charge whatever they wanted.
yeah. Well, let's hope they don't. Let's hope they operate with a little bit of yeah, integrity. And also, you do find that there have been situations where, when companies raise their prices too much and then they get complacent, there will
Yeah, I
be
agree.
competitors coming in. I think ClickFunnels was one example of that, where ClickFunnels had a large share of the market at one point, and then they just got a bit complacent. People complained that they didn't do any updates, and then there's the likes of kind of Go High Level and others
Yeah.
that came out, and so yeah, certainly in the SaaS business, you got to be you got to be ahead of the curve and constantly innovating. Otherwise, yeah,
Yeah. And even if you're not innovating, like giving your customers the features that they want, like
yeah,
you don't even have to innovate a lot of the time in SaaS. It's just giving, like, if you have a look at the kind of, a lot of them have forums where that people can request updates or certain things within the platform. If you just go through all of those and build on all of those, then typically you'll have a great product. But then there's also some innovation outside of what people would even think of to consider too. So definitely innovating, but I think a lot of the time they could really just hold a solid customer base just by giving them the kind of changes requested.
yeah, no, for sure. Um, Going back to the one thing I would say about if you are, and this is like I said, this is more if you're building, if you want to rebuild a personal brand site or a simple service-based website. Um, One thing you do have to bear in mind if you are using AI is you can very quickly use up because it's based on your usage. So I started off on like $20 a month plan. By the end of it, I was on $100 a month plan because I was using up so many tokens. Um, and I've seen that with some of these
Is this
other
with
AI.
is this with Claude, is it? Because I
No,
think I
this is with Bolt,
gotcha.
Bolt.new. Yeah. So you do have to be conscious of that. It really depends how many changes you want to make. Now that the site is launched, and I'm not making as many ongoing tweaks, like I could reduce that monthly subscription down. But yeah, you can soon rack up a bill and think, oh yeah, I'm building a cheap website with AI, and then before you
Yeah.
know it, you've got like $200 a month on, which yeah, on a subscription. So yeah, I think that's probably another reason why we're like I said
It
we're
site
not
looks really
recommend.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
You should
we're
now you need to go into creating templates for freelancers. So you can just sell the templates and then they can just populate it based on what you feel.
yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah.
instead of someone just jacking the site, you actually
Yeah.
get paid for the template that you create.
Yeah, I think yeah, I don't want to get into the design game. I think I'll leave that for.
Oh, you're already there, mate.
Yeah, to be
The
fair, I
the
feel like
Charles Travis website is a piece of art.
yeah, I feel like I've got quite. I feel like I've got a a better eye for design than the average person. Um,
Definitely on the branding side, I think you've always
yeah,
been quite good at that.
yeah, but yeah, in terms of making it my profession, I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm probably
No,
10
not a
years too late
profession,
on.
just a little side income for
Yeah,
Charles Travis templates to help the up and coming, freelancers that just want
yeah, yeah.
a solution that you spent hours building that they can just have on a silver platter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've probably got
If you're a freelancer listening to this and you want a Charles Travis template, jump in the Facebook group on
just gonna have
Shopify
like
Marketing Secrets on.
hundreds of clones of my website just everywhere. As long as I like embed into the
Hide
code,
hide
Charles.
hide some hidden backlinks in the
Yeah, I
code
was
so
gonna
when they
say yeah. As
copy
long
it,
as I
they're all.
hide, yeah, yeah, just get like hundreds of backlinks. So, but no, no, I've been like I said, I've been very impressed with what you can do with it. It just makes life a lot easier. But well, we're certainly not recommending that for our e-commerce audience or clients. I
No,
think.
I mean even I've created kind of a marketplace type e-commerce store, something that I wouldn't have built on Shopify, but um, it does the job. It's just you wouldn't be running a business. You'd be constantly solving small little bugs in the e-commerce kind of world. So I mean, Shopify's already done that hard work. So yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm not opposed to using other platforms, but I just think Shopify's the best one. So if
Yeah.
I had to, if I was forced onto another platform, some of my clients aren't on Shopify, for example. I find the scope changes a little bit in terms of there's a lot more kind of Google Sheets and custom scripts that I have to build out to basically supplement the data that I could have got from Shopify that I can't get from their platform. And Shopify just integrates so well with all the marketing channels. Whereas if you, for example, some like a really simple feature of uh, Shop Shopify is the data feeds they give to Google Merchant Center, and you can straight away choose whether you want to use the standard title and descriptions on the website or whether you want to use the SEO title and description of a product. Not every platform even has kind of that simple option. You might have product titles that aren't optimized for search, or I always come back to like paintings because, for example, sorry, I'm a bit nasally tonight, so I do apologize. But uh, high-end paintings, they might name them something really obscure, like I don't know, Starry Night Sky or something like that. It doesn't. It's like you think about someone typing in Starry Night Sky on Google, like that painting's not going to come up. Um,
Yeah.
oh, actually, I think that might be a name of a really famous painting. Actually, now I think about it, so a painting may come up, but the SEO description might be Starry Night Sky, canvas painting, and then the kind of dimensions of the canvas. And I'd want to use that. I'd want to use that in the merchant center for the shopping ads because it's so much more descriptive. It tells you what it's on, like canvas, potentially what kind of paints were used on it, and you always want to know the size of the canvas too, because people looking for artwork typically want to put it in a certain place, and they've usually got potential measurements they're looking at for certain artwork. So yeah, having that kind of product description versus the title that it would show up on the website, which might just be Starry Night Sky, is just like night and day when you're dealing with shopping ads.
Yeah. That's yeah, interesting example actually. I had an art client a while back that I was doing some kind of one-off project work for, and yeah, it's interesting to the descriptions or the product titles that they were using were what people were searching for. So we had to kind of it was a balance between tweaking them, but also keeping the brand of what she would call them. So it's that kind of fine balance.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think the trade-off is they can call it whatever they want on their website, but the SEO title has to be marketing relevant. Like, and why would you would want something that was marketing relevant to show up in the Google organic searches. If you don't want the product called like a marketing type title on the front, on the actual website itself, which I know a lot of my clients don't. They don't want those super descriptive titles on the actual product page themselves for the title of the product. Then that's fine. Then they just have to use the SEO um, title variant in the
yeah,
kind of SEO space, but also that's the title that I would typically use going to the Google Merchant Center as well.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, they could use in Shopify. It's labeled the page title and meta description. So yeah, you
Yeah.
could do that without changing the product title on the actual page. Yeah,
And if you don't fill out those SEO meta titles, they just use what you've got on your title and description as defaults in the SEO. So
yeah,
if you don't, basically the SEO version is like an override for marketing.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Um, cool, man. I haven't. It's still being rolled out at the moment, but Google had a big update in June. So we're obviously now in July, and we're still kind of seeing the impact of that. Um, One of the big changes it looks like is they're giving Instagram a lot more prominence within the SERPs. Um, so reels are showing up more, um,
Okay.
even pictures and images. So
Is it
just the
Instagram
normal.
or like YouTube Shorts? I'm surprised that they'd be pushing Instagram.
Yeah, no, they're pushing Instagram more. I don't know whether they
Interesting.
built some partnership with Instagram, but I noticed it even when I was searching my own name. Like my YouTube videos would come up, but also my Instagram reels and even some of my just picture and written posts. So yeah, that was something that came across okay my attention this week. I was like, okay, interesting. So it shows that need to build out a strong Instagram presence. I think is
Yeah,
always
great.
helpful, and if it shows up in
Another
search,
thing on the list. Great.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, I think we talked about it before. We've got to be kind of multi-channel approach when it comes to search now, and there's different things that impact getting shown on, whether it's Google, whether it's showing up on ChatGPT. Um, the other thing that I heard as well is if you can get a Wikipedia page,
Oh,
that can
interesting. I
help
never even thought
that
of that.
that can help you rank on AI search within ChatGPT. So that's another metric
Reddit
that they're
seems to
looking.
be a big
And
one too.
Reddit, yeah,
So yeah, on those sub forums. So maybe we should start a discussion on. Actually, it might be interesting. Maybe we should start a e-commerce marketing chats like subreddit, Charles, and start having some chats on there.
yeah. We might as well try it out and see. Yeah.
It'll just be you and me in there chatting for probably the first month or two, but then once we start ranking on Google, maybe we can bring some new people in.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's I know there's a big SEO one because I've viewed that
Oh,
before
massive.
and yeah,
There's
but
a
I've
PPC one too. There's a subreddit for nearly absolutely everything. So
yeah, but like yeah, I definitely think if you've got if there isn't one in your industry, then set one up.
mm.
I do think for whatever reason, you know, these platforms are giving Reddit a lot of preference. So
I think
I
it's
think
died down a bit from like the insanity that it was when that partnership was first announced with Google. Like all the top 10 results were from
yeah,
Reddit. I'm like, what's
yeah,
going on?
yeah.
Their
It's like
traffic
is
from
this
Reddit must have been absolutely insane over that period.
crazy? Yeah, it's like is this Google or is this Reddit? Like,
Yeah, I
I
know.
might as well just go to the Reddit homepage.
Exactly. It was crazy. I think in the e-commerce space for me as well, so kind of another little interesting development on my end is I potentially may be going into like another e-commerce community to basically coach on the Google Ads side, which is something I've kind of been considering doing for a while. I definitely will be doing it in like our Facebook community and stuff when it grows, but I kind of thought I'd dip my toe in and get some more exposure in the coaching space. I ran a course in 2018 for about a year, but I don't know. I just got that hunch to get back in and start teaching a little bit again. So yeah, I've got some conversations to have this week, but might be having a month trial in another community to see how the coaching goes on that front. But yeah,
Nice.
I always say you need to be a student in the game, and like I just want to. At the moment, I don't know why, but I've just got like with the AI stuff that's coming out, I've just got like that real kind of thirst just to learn heaps and heaps and about ecom again, and surround myself with people that are teaching and doing it themselves. But also building out some really cool systems for Google Ads and teaching other people how to do it as well to get some good results. Because yeah, basically I've been nearly every account that I ordered. I was like, oh my gosh, like sometimes you second guess yourself. You're like, because I think I do it because I probably network with probably the top 1% of people in the Google Ads space. So I'm always looking at what they're doing and thinking it kind of, because you're in that world, you're like, oh, this is just the standard. This is what's happening. But then when you realize that, hey, these guys are probably the top 1%, if you're looking at like 99 accounts, like maybe one of them has kind of the level that you would kind of hope that accounts were being operated at. So, I need to constantly remind myself that, even though I've been in Google Ads since kind of 2013 to 14, started my own thing in 2016. Like I've been in the Google Ads space for a long time, but it's always constantly changing. I'm always having to learn new skills, adapt, find better ways to do things. I think the moment you get stuck in the ways that you used to do things is the moment you start kind of losing leverage and being able to help your clients grow efficiently.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think you're right. It's the AI. I found it. The AI search stuff has given kind of a new lease of life to, you know, like, I'm the same, but on the SEO side, I've been doing the SEO for so long now that it's nice to have something to learn that's kind of new. And SEO is always, it's always been evolving. But I think this new dimension of AI search just makes it uh, it's just something new and interesting.
I think the rate that you can learn at as well is exciting to me too. I think previously you'd have to sit on like hours of YouTube videos to watch a lot of content. Now you can have like a conversation with something that already knows all the answers, and it's
Yeah,
just how you prompt it to give you the information that you're looking for to be able to kind of really harness its power. And don't get me wrong, like AI isn't always 100% accurate in this space, in the online marketing space, especially for things that are like brand new and just come out. But I think it's like for example, if you were thinking of doing email marketing, that's been around forever. Like AI is like the perfect example to kind of help answer all your questions on email marketing because the fundamentals there have been the same for a very long time now. So yeah, and I think that the rate that you can ask questions and learn is just it's something that we've never seen before. Instead of watching a YouTube video to find that golden egg that you may have been looking for, you could have like 50 of those moments in the same time with AI, just from general conversation. And it's just, I've never asked so many questions in my life, but because you get such quality answers, you just, it's just
yes.
addictive. It's like, I want to
No,
keep learning.
no, it's class. Like I said, I mean, just even at the weekend when I was doing this paper on AI overviews, I wasn't doing it. Claude was doing it. I literally just gave it a prompt, a few lines, said, give me the top analysis for Google AI overviews, um, based on how how click through rate is performing specifically for e-commerce, and it gives me this
Yeah,
well researched
that's great.
paper that's reviewing 300 plus different sources.
Have you
Like if
compared it to the deep search on ChatGPT? Like, how different are they?
I haven't, no, but I mean, from what I used of Claude, I was very impressed with it. I was like,
Yeah,
this is, yeah. I'm constantly switching back between the two. Like,
me too.
ChatGPT is great for. I like the fact that ChatGPT is more like an operating system where it really remembers everything about you.
Yeah.
Claude's still a little bit like if you're not in the same chat, then it doesn't always remember parts of you.
ChatGPT is scary though. Sometimes you'll
Ah,
ask it a
scary.
question and you forgot that you even told it something, and it's like
Yeah, I
bringing
know.
it up. You're like, "What the hell? That's very personal information." Where
Yeah,
did you
yeah, I
do
know. I know.
that?
It sometimes knows more about me than I know about myself. Like that's the scary part. And I am sometimes worried. Like I probably give it too much information. Like even I'll do my like financial stuff. It'll help me with some of my kind of monthly financials that I give it. I'm thinking, should I really be giving this
Yeah, I
tool
know what you mean.
all of that data? I'm like, well, it knows everything else about me, so
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah. Cool,
I think
man. We
I think
yeah.
we're a little bit short of the hour this week, but I think I've covered most of the stuff I wanted to cover in the. Well, to be honest, I didn't know what I wanted to cover tonight. I kind of got off the plane today and knew I had a conversation lined up with you, but like always, it's flowed nicely and some good takeaways again tonight. So, but I think there's going to be kind of a lot more kind of okay, implement this now. The type stuff coming up, especially with what we're testing across different verticals. I'm very fortunate in the fact that I've basically got a client that I use as a test site for everything, to all these new up and coming things. So, yeah, it's always good to have a playground to actually be implementing all these things and not just talking about it. So I think that kind of separates a lot of people. A lot of people talk about the e-commerce stuff, but they're not actually implementing it. So I think the more we can implement it across our own clients and test, we can give you guys better feedback on what's actually working.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Doesn't mean anything if it's just theory.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, guys.
All
Well,
right, guys.
yeah. Yeah, sorry, Jimmy, you go. You
Yeah, you
send
wrap
us
it.
off, my
You
friend.
wrap us. All right, no worries. If you haven't already, come check us out on the Facebook group on Shopify Marketing Secrets on Facebook, or if you're listening to this on any podcasting platforms or anything like that, come subscribe on YouTube on E-commerce Marketing Chats, and we'll catch you next week.